If you're a real estate broker, real estate investor, you probably got your ass kicked last year, as did I, as did a lot of people. And in this show, I'm going to talk about a lot of kind of reframes for 2024. And we just did an incredible mastermind out in Keystone. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. And as always, you know where to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm bringing you crazy things every single week to do more deals, find more deals, and grow your business. Whether you are building with overseas talent, building a call center, and that's what brought you here, or you're looking to find more off-market real estate deals to wholesale or do whatever you want with them, that is also what we talk about here on my channel. So let's get right into it. Welcome. If you are new here, welcome to the Off-Market Operator Podcast. This is a place where I try to create bite-sized, I call it like a quick lunch, right? Like this should be a podcast you can listen to in your car, at the gym, on the treadmill, and really get kind of a quick tidbit you can implement into your business that week for whatever you have going on. And something I've been thinking a lot about, you guys, is kind of 2023 and creating frameworks, because a lot of people got their ass kicked in 2023, and a lot of people don't look at entrepreneurship, which that's what you're doing. If you're a real estate broker, if you're a real estate investor, you're a wholesaler, you are an entrepreneur, right? You are reliant for your leads, your conversion, and your operations. You're reliant for your finances. You are reliant on you. And I think a lot of us had a worse 2023 than we thought or we wanted to have. And I think that creates a lot of fear. And so the first thing I want to talk about, you guys, is thinking about your business and your entrepreneurial career on a macro timeline, right? When you zoom out, 2023 might have been hard. It might have been hard to pay the bills at sometimes. You might have got your ass kicked. I had a hard 2023 myself. I had a partnership separation. I had some business issues. I had some legal issues. And overall, it was not my funnest or most profitable business year. And at the end of the day, I always zoom out and I want to look at my career, my skill set, my company on a macro timeline, right? When you talk about 30 or 40 years, if you are doing what you're doing right now for 30, 40 years, 2023 is going to be a blip on the radar. Just like '08, right? A lot of guys were, what are we, 15, 16 years past '08. And a lot of people that I know had already built success and lost everything during '08. And what I think about a lot is those guys, for most of them, '08's just already a small blip on their radar, right? It's not something they think about a ton active day in and day out, because they've recovered. They've moved on. It's just a learning lesson. And I think 2023 was that for a lot of us, and that the market can change at any times. Our government, our interest rates, the macroeconomic standpoint of real estate is always fluctuating and changing. And I think the biggest thing I learned is to create a robust business that can scale in any different interest rate environment and market cycle. And I've had a lot of agents and brokers specifically join my program as of late to learn how to source off market deals. And, a lot of them really realize that too. Like, hey, I can't just be reliant on referrals, because when the market does change, which it always does, I want to be able to have a paid acquisition channel. I think the biggest thing that I learned, which what I teach a lot in my coaching groups right now, is your business needs to have a reliable paid way to get clients in the door. Why? Well, if you don't have a reliable paid way to get clients in the door, you're susceptible to pretty much referrals. And for you guys that are investors out there doing, buying from wholesalers or wholesaling, it's very hard to be reliant on referrals. When you're an agent and a broker and the market changes, it's also very, very, very hard to be reliant on referrals. So, having at least one paid client acquisition strategy is very important, and people have found that to be true. And then relationships and brand is everything, right? Right. No matter when the market slid, if you had good relationships, a good brand and reputation, and you had a paid, reliable client acquisition strategy, your cost per lead might have gone up, your deal size might have gone down, but there's still ways you can make money and pay the bills. And that's what business is. A lot of times, you guys, business is paying the bills. It is. You get paid last and it sucks. But a lot of times, there's times in my businesses that it's paying the bills. And I like to say this is, if you're running a business, 2% of the time you feel like you're winning, 2% of the time you feel like you might have some idea of what you're doing, and 96% of the times you're going to feel like you're going to get punched in the face and not know what you're doing. And business is fascinating because you can be having incredible things happening, a big deal closing, a lot of money in the bank, a good hire you made. But at the same time, usually there's an undertone of the next hurdle, the next obstacle. You either know it's coming or it's already there at the same time. And, when you get home, your wife might be like, hey, why aren't you celebrating? You just closed a big deal. And you might get home and be like, well, I had 2 employees quit and my CRM froze. And, there's so many things that can happen that normally in a business, I think it's really, really important to remove your identity from your company, from your business, because your business is going to come in waves. Deals are going to come in waves. Problems are going to come in waves. Money issues, cash flow crunches are going to come in waves, and you don't want your identity to be caught up in all of that. It's a pretty brutal storm. So yeah, that was some lessons from 2023, 2024 that I picked up at the event we just did, and that I've really been having conversations around that I wanted to share today that have been on my mind. I put out a post today on Instagram, which I'm sure you guys have seen, talking about how it happens slower than you want and then faster than you thought, right? When you're grinding, when you're in the hard phase, when it hurts, when it's painful, when you're getting rejected, when you're losing money, it feels so slow. But you're building character, you're building skills, you're building resources, you're building connections. And then all of a sudden it goes way faster than you thought. And you look back and go, holy crap, that was insane. That went way faster than I thought. And so in the moment, it's always going to feel like it's slower than you wanted. And then in the macro scheme, like I talked about, when you zoom out, it's always going to feel like it happened faster than you thought. And if you're a dreamer, if you're a business owner, if you're a real estate investor, if you're a wholesaler, if you're listening to this show, that is how entrepreneurship and business is. If you are a dreamer, it is more punches than it is success. It is more lost money a lot of times than it is made money. It is more crap happening behind the scenes than you can even imagine. So don't peek over the fence and look at someone's green patch of grass, because that green patch of grass is surrounded by manure, just like in your yard, just like in everyone else's yard. And we all have our unique skills and skill sets that we can lean in on to build. Second thing is, I want to recap. We just did our event. We just did our OMO Summit in Keystone, Colorado last week. This is an event that I kind of had as a brainchild for last year. I've been talking to a buddy about it, and I called Jimmy on a Friday night, I think end of November, and I said, hey man, this is what I want to do. Are you in? He said, yep, I'm in. And we got them sold. We sold about 30 tickets. Had an amazing time. We skied hard. We played hard. We had great dinners. So many new relationships, guys. And if you guys are listening to this, you don't go to a ton of masterminds. The value of a mastermind isn't in what you learn or the presentation. I've gone to a lot of masterminds, and I can tell you for most of them, the value hasn't come from the presentation. The value has come from the relationships. Even James Daynard, who I did this mastermind with, we met at a mastermind in Maui, at Brandon Turner's Maui mastermind. And you'll always forget the presentation. You might have some good notes you go home with and implement in your business. They might force you to dream bigger. You might pick up things here or there that are applicable to you in your life, but overall it's the relationships, and relationships scale faster than technology, faster than AI, faster than people. Relationships are what matter, right? That's the reality of it. Relationships are so important, and I can't stress that enough. It's something that comes back to me all the time. Anytime I'm focusing on things that aren't relationship, I mean, I focus on other things, but people build businesses, right? You build your people build your business. You build the machine continues to build the machine. And that's something that really became transparent at this event. And if you guys aren't going to masterminds, just go to one or two a year. I highly recommend it. You're never going to look back and forget, regret spending those dollars, but there's so much value that you can get out of those events. And there's so much I took away from this one. So yeah, not an insanely long podcast today, you guys. I wanted to help you guys create a frame for yourself. If you got your ass kicked in 2023, I hope you're having a good start to 2024. And I want to talk a bit about the mastermind we just did. I hope to see a lot of you guys at a future one we do. But if you didn't watch the first show this week on Monday was an amazing show. It was my buddy Axel's podcast that I went on talking about multifamily, and went into our whole deal sourcing funnel that we've talked to people. I have a buddy of mine, Connor, and he texted me last week that he did a $374,000 self-storage assignment wholesale. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity in that space to bring in big deals, which obviously help you create a healthier business. So if you are interested in that, definitely go watch that last podcast on Monday. I think it's very valuable, and really excited for what we're bringing this show this year. We just crossed 75 episodes, 75. That's super exciting. And all of you guys out there that are, as my buddy Tucker says, who is a business partner of mine, says, all of you out there in listener land, like a review, a testimonial, a share, and your story means the world. I try to give really bite-sized pieces of information on this show, and I hope you find it valuable. So without further ado, as I always say, until next time, you are one deal away.